Welcome by Engineer S. Suresh Babu, Honorary Secretary.
Everyone, namaskar. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you are all aware, today 4th March is being celebrated as World Engineering Day. It is a greatest occasion for any of the engineers. And the institution of engineers all over the India, we are celebrating this day. On this occasion, we have been given a subject, sustainable development. On this subject, when we thought whom we want to call and who is the person we can address and who is going to be a best person for this engineering day celebration. And we have recognized and invited our Vidyavadaka College, Engineering College Principal, Dr. Sadashive, who is a very scholar in this field and who is going to deliver the address on this occasion. And he has wholeheartedly well accepted our invitation and having come over here for the celebration of World Engineering Day. On this occasion, on behalf of the Institution of Engineers, I welcome Dr. Sadashive for this August presence. And I welcome our Chairman B.S. Prabhakar, who is going to preside over this function. And I welcome Dr. Deepo, Joint Secretary, and K.V. Bhaskar, who is the convener of this program. And I also welcome our former Chairman, Sri Chinswamiji, former Secretaries, Dr. Madheswamy, Sri Sampath, and Honorable Committee members, Sri Nanjaya, Sri Rajendra, Sri Mohan Krishna, and all my senior fellow members. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to today's program. And I also welcome distinguished media who have come over here for this program. Once again, welcome you all. Thank you.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಮಾರಂಭಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಅತಿಥಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಹ್ವಾನಿಸಿರುವ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪದಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಡೇ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಎರಡು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ.
Thank you, sir. Now, introduction of our speaker. Dear friends, it's my proud privilege to introduce Dr. B. Sadashive Gowda. Dr. Sadashive Gowda obtained his graduation degree in mechanical engineering in the year 1986 from AIT Chikmagalur, University of Mysore. Obtained ME in refrigeration, air conditioning from Coimbatore Institute of Engineering, Coimbatore in the year 1992 with the Gates stipend. Obtained PhD in thermal science in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at Indian Institute of Science, IISc, Bangalore in the year 1997. After completion of PhD in 1997, he worked for RINAC, the Refrigeration, Insulation and Air Conditioning India Limited, as a product development manager for 3 years. Later, he worked as a faculty head engineering at American Degree Program of Taylor's University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia from 1999 to 2007. He was given Excellence Award in the year 2004 by the Taylor's University for his academic excellence. He joined Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering as a professor of mechanical engineering in the year 2007 June, and later he became a head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering. He was promoted as a vice principal in the year 2008 and the principal in the year 2010 May. He has published over 50 papers in conference and international journals. He is a fellow of Institution of Engineers, a life member of ISHRE and ISTE. He is a member of Academic Council of many engineering college of VTU. Presently, he is guiding a more than 6 PhD research scholar. He is an instrumental in getting NBA and NAAC accreditation and autonomous status to VVCE. Currently, he is a Dean of Faculty Engineering, VTU, Visvesvaraya Technical University. Here I present a dynamic personality, Dr. B. Sadashive Gowda, to you. Over to you, sir.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಯಾಸು ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೊಂಡ್ರು
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to be part of this celebration of World Engineering Day. And this year theme is on sustainable development. Okay. All of us are aware of a sustainable development. It is not that something is completely new. Our forefathers, they knew all this so well. Without any problems, they lived for thousands of years. But only this sustainability became an issue after the advent of industrial revolutions. Prior to that, I think all of us, our forefathers, led the sustainable lifestyle. Now let me quickly go through in the given allotted time. What is that I would like to tell about sustainable development? So my presentation would be as follows: a brief introduction about sustainable development. What is it? What are the issues that are related to sustainable development? And sustainable development goals. There are 17 sustainable development goals that are given to each country by the United Nations. What are they? And finally, in our institute, because without practicing anything we say, it is of no use. What is that we have done as an institute with respect to sustainable development? I would like to thank all my colleagues who have shared this information in my institute. So coming to the introduction, what is sustainable development? Development that leads to peace, that leads to prosperity for people and the planet, now and into the future. So I put sustainable development is something that is very much related to each one of us. So most importantly, we must have the peace. We have development that are happening on a continual basis. But these developments should not become destructive and spoil our peace. Right now, this is what's happening in the entire world. If you ask me why this is happening, it is because we are too greedy. You produce so much of food, yet millions of people die out of hunger. And we have seen floods, we have seen droughts. Why all these things happening? Because we say that because of fast-paced developmental activities, many a time we don't even think that consequences. All of us as engineers, I think most of us are engineers and our education is, we must think whatever the action we take, what are the consequences of those actions. If you spend some time, I think these all the developmental activities that happen around us, around the world, would become sustainable. They will not destroy the nature. But today, we are destroying the nature. We are seeing the uh, the effects of all those things around us. Already, it is visible, so clearly visible. Yesterday, in today, it was there in the Times of India in Mango, 39 points, 39 point something, close to 40-degree temperature. It was unheard of during this month. It is happening. And in yesterday's newspaper, I saw in the year 2022, we produced the highest ever carbon dioxide or contributed the highest ever carbon dioxide to the nature than any other year since 1900. Means, after the corona, people started traveling, the energy production, the energy requirement went up by 0.9% in the entire world. Because of those reasons and also the Ukraine war and the fuel, the coal is cheaply available. They started burning coal. As a result of all these things, carbon dioxide production, contribution to the nature increased much more than any other year. So what is that? How it is going to affect the nature? You know that carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases, and it is going to significantly affect the global temperature. And we have seen the glaciers being melting. The glaciers are melting. Many glaciers might disappear in another 1 or 2 decades. So what is that we should do as engineers, as human beings, as educated people? So I feel, according to me, the sustainability means peace. Any developmental activity that results in creating more and more peace for the people, and also, of course, the prosperity is important for the people and the planet, the entire planet. When I say planet, both living as well as non-living, the nature. Not just for the now, even for future generation, even after 100 years, this planet should become sustainable. Now, here I have given 3 things. One is sustainability should not change the environment because it should not affect the environment. This is the economy, because in the name of economy, we talk about 3 trillion economy, 4 trillion economy, we want to become number 1. So because of these developmental activities, we are destroying the nature around us. I think this economy is important, but not at the cost of peace, for at the cost of peace for the people and the planet. And the third one is the equity. equity, what I say, whatever the facilities that are available, they should be available for all the strata of life. Poor as well as very rich people. People we have seen in America, they have 3 cars, 4 cars, even now it is happening in our country. And even the small roads have so many cars. In each family, there are 2 to 3 cars or vehicles. Not that we should not have, but the point here is that we are wasting the natural resources which are depleting fast. So, in the name of equity, in the name of sharing the resources, we are also destroying the nature. So, that's what I would like to mention. And what are the issues? Number one, people say that this growth rate is required because of huge population. This is one area all of us need to think. The population, if you look at the population now, it is close to 8 billion, 7.4 or 7.6 billion now. And by 2030, 2050, it is going to become 9 billion to 10 billion population. Now, obviously, we have to provide shelter to all these people. There will be developmental activities. But we have to ensure that these developmental activities do not affect the environment. Sustainable development is important, and we are also now is a 90 trillion economy, the entire world, and this is going to become 200 trillion economy. Obviously, so many trees will be felled, so many things. Earlier, how big was the Bangalore and how big it is now. Similarly, Mysore. Now I saw in the news that just like Bruhat Mahanagarapalikha in Bangalore, there will be a Bruhat Mysore Nagarapalikha. Then all the areas around Mysore, hundreds of villages will be eaten by Mysore city in the future. So what will happen to the environment around us? Then the greenhouse gases, the one of the important culprits that is affecting the nature significantly is the greenhouse gases. Because we produce carbon dioxide so much, it is because if you see the industrialization, and now in my city of Mysore, the semicon industry is going to be set up, the fab city is going to be set up very soon. I think government is investing a large amount of money into it, and you can imagine the carbon dioxide production by the semiconductor industry in the Mysore city alone. It is going to be huge. Then the fossil fuel, I told you in the year 2022, we produced so much of, we burned so much of fossil fuel that resulted in carbon dioxide production by a significant portion. So all these are going to increase the carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. They are very dangerous to the environment because already their proportion in the environment is at the dangerous level. And in the future, unless we control this production, it is going to affect the nature significantly. So because it is going to enhance the global temperature, it is going to cause a lot of devastating effects on the environment. And already millions of people are not able to get drinking water around the world because of greenhouse effects. Then these are the issues. One is the depletion of natural resources. This is one of the reasons why the environment is getting affected. The second one is water pollution. We have seen, when we were children, we used to drink water right from the rivers, canals, but today we cannot afford to drink. We'll get admitted in the hospitals because it is polluted to the maximum extent. Then air pollution, it is significant. It is causing a lot of diseases among the younger generation. Then groundwater pollution, it is very severe, particularly in the Bangalore region, and it is also affecting many other regions because of the sewage water which is untreated. Then toxic chemicals and soil pollution, it is also going on the increasing rate. Ozone layer depletion to certain extent because the refrigeration and air conditioning industry used to use these the ozone harmful gases significantly, but they have started using ozone-friendly gases. As a result, it has come down. It means that it is possible. If you see, people were expecting that the entire ozone layer would get depleted very soon because a lot of measures were taken by the industry to find alternative refrigerants. As a result, ozone depletion rate has come down significantly. Similarly, if all of us take measures, it is possible to have a sustainable development without affecting the nature. So then global warming is a very serious issue. It is mainly because of the greenhouse gases. Then loss of biodiversity because of deforestation, lot of drought, farming, the loss of diversity is happening, and then extinction of wildlife and loss of natural habitat. And this is going on, and already we have lost hundreds and thousands of the biodiversity living beings. And the nuclear waste and radiation effects, this is also going to be significant. All these are not sustainable. All these are making our environment very dangerous to the living beings for the future generations. So as a result, there are 17 sustainable developmental goals. The United Nations, they thought that we should do something in the year 2015. What they did, they met and they deliberated on this. What is that we should do? So that by 2030, they prepared an agenda for sustainable development and which was adopted by all the United Nations members. And now it is made mandatory, and every year they release a report what is the progress of each of these 17 sustainable developmental goals. So what are these goals? These are the 17 goals. I'll just quickly run through one by one. One of them is no poverty, end poverty, in all forms everywhere. So right now, when I check, 25% of the people live in poverty in the entire world. 25%, and most of those countries are in Africa. So they said that by 2030, we should eradicate poverty. So this is one of the goals. Of course, there are many other sub goals. The second one is zero hunger. And if you look at the hunger, around 830 million people go on hunger every day in the entire world. It means that, we say that on one hand we are highly developed, on the other hand, there are millions of people, they are not able to get a square meal a day. That is the scenario we are facing. I don't know why we should call ourselves a development nation, means that even America, Europe, they are so developed yet in other part of the world there are people dying out of hunger. Then this is the second, they have to ensure that there is zero hunger in the entire world. The third sustainable developmental goal is good health and well-being. This is very important. They should ensure that good health is provided to all the human beings around the world. Then quality education. Of course, we are fortunate with respect to education, and almost all the 17 goals, if you look at, we are doing extremely well. But if you look at the entire world, we are not doing so well. And this is quality education is the fourth one. Then gender equality. I think this is there's a significant improvement in our country with respect to gender equality. And but there are many countries where we have seen what is happening in Afghanistan, where there is no gender equality. Even the ladies cannot go to educational institutions for education. So that is the state of affairs in many countries. That clean water and sanitation. This is also, even in India, in the remote areas, it is very difficult to get clean water. But in Africa now, the situation is terrible. So this is the sixth sustainable development goal. The seventh one is affordable and clean energy. The energy, we are good at affordable and clean. We are as a country, we are doing extremely well. And I'm certain that in the future also we should be able to provide energy to all the both rural and the urban areas at affordable cost. And the next sustainable development goal is decent work and economic growth. That everyone should get a decent work. Decent work means that there should not be any exploitation of workers. So that should be ensured. And the ninth one, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. This is in this area also we are doing quite good. The tenth one is reduce inequality within and among countries. That is between the countries. We have seen the GDP in America is how much, and the GDP per capita income in India, in the other countries, there is a big gap. So how we can bridge this gap? And sustainable cities and communities. I think this is also very important. I know we talk about smart cities, they become sustainable, and sustainable cities mean that everything, they become self-sufficient. They don't need to import anything or export anything. Then the third one is responsible consumption and production. It is something where we produce and consume. We have seen in many cases we overproduce and we underconsume. It results in wastage that could be avoided. Then the 13th, climate action, which is very important because climate action where we have seen the changes that are happening with respect to climate. Sometimes it will be extremely cold or extremely hot. It becomes unbearable for each one of us to tolerate. So this is also an issue. The life below water, basically to ensure that the sea animals or sea living things are not affected in the long run. Then life on land, particularly for both human beings and other living beings, including plants, we have to ensure that their interests are not jeopardized. Peace, justice, and strong institutions with respect to governments. And the last one is the 17th Sustainable Development Goal is partnership for growth. Basically, the various countries must join together for the growth, for the peace, for the prosperity. And now I would like to, these are the Sustainable Developmental Goals the United Nations has come out, and they think that they are very important for the growth of human beings in a sustainable way. And in this, as an institute, very recently we conducted one international conference on transformations in engineering education. We found that, and the theme was something related to sustainability. And then what we have done, in fact, there was one Sampada Pachuri from New Delhi who identified about 400 students across India, and she conducted classes on sustainable, basically inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning where the theme was sustainability. How to have net zero campus. I think Professor Umesha is here, who was in charge of that entire thing. And basically, can we have net zero campus? What do I mean by net zero campus? Can we have carbon neutral first, where we do not contribute to the carbon footprint by the institute? That was the number one point we had. Then can we have water sufficiency? We don't need to get water from anywhere. Whatever the rainwater we get, we can harvest it and see that it is used throughout the year, including the groundwater. So like that, the inquiry-based learning for the 400 students, they did for almost 6 months, and then they came to our campus from January 4th to January 8th, where they were given specific tasks. We identified a few sustainable developmental goals. We could not take all the 17. We took a few. So which I am going to present. So basically, sustainability inquiry program. We named it Sustainability Inquiry Program. Any new learning begins with a new questions. We told the students that they should ask as many questions as possible. Because without questioning the status quo, they cannot find solutions to the problems. So then this objective basically of this case study, number one, learn process of inquiry and investigation, how to find solutions to the burning issues. Okay, that was the one. The second, develop critical thinking skills among students. They should think critically to find a solution. See, the 21st century skill set, one of them is a critical thinking. Many a time we don't think critically to find appropriate solutions to the problem that we are facing. The second skill is the communication skill. Because when we work in a team, automatically we improve our communication skill. So that was one of the objectives, develop a sustainability awareness model. We need to create awareness among the students that wherever after graduation they work in various organizations, they should keep in mind that sustainability. They may work in energy sector or software sector or some other sector or government sector. Wherever they work, they should ensure that sustainability should be there in their mind while applying any new rules, any new guidelines, or finding any new solutions. Then practice and preach. Basically, we wanted to practice as an institute and then preach basically on the sustainability. So in this, we selected goal 6, clean water and sanitation. We considered 5 goals, sustainable development goals. One is clean water and sanitation. The second, affordable clean energy. The third, sustainable cities and communities. Then climate action, and the last one, life on land. So the students were made into groups and they were given all these problems and they were supposed to explore, discuss and find solutions. So that was a case study. So basically we followed this method, inquiry based learning. So what is inquiry based learning? Basically the first step, what do I want to know about this topic? What, for example, if you say clean water, what is clean water? Where do I get? How much cost I pay for the clean water? Why I need to drink clean water? What will happen after drinking? What would be the wastage? So they are supposed to ask a lot of questions to understand the topic. And then what do I know about my question? How do I know what I know? What more do I need to know? What could an answer be? And similarly, how to reduce the water wastage? They should also try to ask some critical questions to find suitable solutions. Then fresh drinking water is getting scarce. Maybe some information from the newspaper, ways to manage my water needs, measure my water intake. It is not there for the individual houses, even for the entire campus. And we did a study for almost 4 months for all these goals that we have selected. And I will tell you the results. It is a continuous process. It is not that we have done and we stop it. It is a continuous process. And I will tell you, and then this is the second step in the inquiry-based learning. This is the first step, and then what kinds of resources might help, where do I find them, how do I know the information is valid, validating certain results. For example, they want to measure the electricity consumption. How do they validate, or what was the electricity consumption the previous month, last year, all such questions. Because assume that many a time we found our own students, they do not know what is the electricity consumption in their home. When we check with them, okay, how many kilowatt hours of electricity consumed in their home, they did not know. And for example, how much water they consume on a daily basis or a monthly basis, they are not aware of it. Why they are not aware of it? Nobody asked them. Everything is available. So unless we create awareness, they would not they may waste, they may think that, okay, this is freely available, let me use it. Many a time, they don't turn off the fans after leaving the classes. Also that we have about 70 classrooms in our campus. All the 70 classroom lights are on, fans are on for 1 hour extra. How much carbon footprint we create? What is the damage we do to the city, to the country? It is enormous. Also that we create awareness. This is going to happen. This is going to affect the future generations. I think somewhere 50% of the students, 60% of the students, they get they get enlightened. Oh, this is going to happen. This is going to affect, and that will have a cascading effect on others. Others will also become aware of all these things. So that's what we try to do in this program, and these are the various steps we followed for the 4 months, which was guided by the faculty members, Professor Umesha and his team in our institute. Basically, we wanted to create awareness that these sustainable developmental goals are very, very important. As engineers, we must practice while we are on the campus. Then, I will tell you one example here. What is the status of water consumption vis-a-vis resources for water in your region? Maybe they can consider the entire region of Mysore region. What is the total water consumption? What is the water available? What is the wastage? Then trace the water supply sources from the municipality works. Then identify the region, your home, your hostel block. Check the water plumbing, draw a paper layout, mark all the nodes of water, input supply and output drain. All these things we started doing one after the another. Then they started realizing that, okay, all these things are important and they are not taught in a typical classroom. And it is not there in the curriculum. Because these things, sustainability and all is not included there in the curriculum. That we have to improve. Because we wanted to hold the conference and the conference theme was sustainability. Because we should do something just by accepting certain papers, making them present those papers in the conference will not help the country or will not help the institute. So let us create. So 400 such students were trained to think on sustainability. Then, so we also had a study on the water meter readings. Many times we don't know how to read the water meter, how to convert that water meter readings into rupees. So all these exercises were done, and then tabulation, day 1 to day 7. Similarly, on clean energy, we have done. Okay, so asking certain specific questions to the student groups so that they do research, they come out with solutions also, and all these like that, create this is with respect to the energy. And in fact, we do our energy auditing for our campus in-house. What was the energy consumption last month, this month, what variation is happening, how to reduce it. So this is one thing is, if you look at our aim is to have net zero campus. Well, as I mentioned, net zero campus with respect to carbon footprint. The second one is with respect to water, with respect to energy. We want to have maybe in another 2 to 3 years, we want to become a net zero campus. That is the objective. So in that, we have created, you look here, 210 kilowatt is the solar power plant we have installed on our blocks. Then this is we made a record. Okay, energy consumption and generation in VVCE campus. What is the consumption and the generation? And how do we augment the additional requirement? And similarly, if you look at rainwater, we created the rainwater harvesting in the campus. And also wherever we have the borewells, we made them get recharged during the rainy season. So that we don't need to depend on the Mysore City Corporation water. We don't have lines into the campus. Basically, we take recharge water or the rainwater. Then and even the slopes at certain geographical places in the campus, rainwater and percolated water easily gets trapped and recharges as the groundwater. Then if you see here, We also have a sewage treatment plant on our campus because we don't want to waste the water that is used by the students and the staff members on the campus. And we have 130 kiloliters per day of water is being used in the VVC campus that is treated and used for gardening purposes. So that we are reusing the water. You can see here some photos where how we are reusing. And then this is a list of plants and their botanical names. And if you look here, how many trees are there, we are counted. It's all done by our student community during that project. How many trees are there? How much carbon, kg of carbon dioxide neutralized? Because you know that tree, they produce oxygen, they neutralize the carbon dioxide. So per tree, what is the carbon dioxide neutralization? And this is the amount of carbon dioxide neutralization we do on the campus. So if you see here, this is the entire, I think the credit goes to Professor Umesha. This is the total carbon dioxide neutralization on the campus because of presence of trees on the campus. So this, see, assume that what I am trying to drive home is that this exercise has created a lot of awareness among the faculty and also among the students. Okay, we need to have trees on the campus. Or at least when they become some decision makers at the later stage, this whatever we have implanted in their mind, it will work. They will ensure that they will consider sustainability in their decision making process. That is the important thing we want to drive home. And similarly, if you look at the natural vegetation in the VVCE campus, these are the natural vegetation. That we also did awareness program, awareness of energy consumption within the campus. Like we put posters, we conducted quiz program to create awareness. We did bond camp where they freely discussed the latest topics on the sustainability. We conducted hackathon, we did webinars and save energy, save water, save Mother Earth, save trees, one student, one tree. Like that, many campaigns were carried out basically to create awareness on sustainability amongst our students. Save soil. These are some key examples like posters. We have put posters wherever there are switches. Solid waste, wet waste, and e-waste management in the campus. Then projects carried out by many projects were carried out by VVCE students during this entire program. That is sustainable bamboo as construction material, application of IoT, water quality management. Like that, there are many projects we have done. I have just shown you the sample because of lack of time. And this one project I would like to show you. This is industrial roofing structure using bamboo as shell material, which is sustainable. Bamboo is available, and they have done a lot of tests, and this can be used. This is the experiments we have done on our campus. Basically, you can replace steel with bamboo. So, such experiments will create awareness. Will students will think that okay, these are things that are important because we don't need for a single floor in the rural areas. You don't need a steel rod. You can use these bamboo structures and projects on electric vehicles. So then assessment of ambient air quality in the VVC campus is the high volume air sample monitor. The total particulate matter, this is the suspended particulate matter. So we do all these things. We believe that we can make a change if we are able to teach right things to our student community because they are going to be the decision makers later. So we believe that it is important that not just teaching, we must also practice. And I have told you, we waste many things because we are too greedy. Many a time, even in the marriages and all, we waste so much of food. And on one hand, people die out of hunger, on the other hand, there is so much of surplus. Somehow, even though we are highly educated, we are not able to do justice in those areas. And these are global sustainability trends like recycling, renewable energy sources, reducing food wastage, standardized sustainable materials, then plant-based diets, increase of efficiency using technologies, make technologies, we have very advanced technologies, use the technology to increase the efficiencies of any machines, any equipment, wherever possible, so that carbon footprint can be reduced significantly. Then, I think I have almost come to the end. Benefits of sustainable development, if you look, number one, reduction in greenhouse gases and improved air quality, efficient use of resources and high recycling rates, responsible energy usage that creates a low carbon future, which is very important, safe, healthy and quality working life for people. So finally, why we need to adopt sustainability? It is mainly because we all of us need to have a safe life, healthy life and quality life. For that, sustainability is the only solution way forward. In conclusion, sustainable development that leads to peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future is very, very important, for that all of us directly or indirectly are responsible. And whenever we get opportunities to use sustainability, particularly in education, we should use it. And also wherever possible, we should use sustainable technologies so that our planet Earth could be used for future generations the way we have been using it. With this, I would like to thank all of you for patient hearing. Thank you. If there are any specific questions, I would be happy to take. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your excellent presentation, sir. Now interaction.
But what holds back the academic institutions to improve the syllabus? Because I found that I am work in different states today, and within the academic institution, the syllabus is outdated. When you said about this Kyoto, for example, I was in Japan when the Kyoto Protocol was happening. We found that the carbon credit which they were discussing at that point of time was not ethical in nature. So because what carbon credit means, it is trading off sins between the person. Somebody pollutes it, somebody purchased those sins, which was not correct. So somebody argued it. That's where the Eastern countries plays an important role in the sustainability. Then recently they come to know that sustainability, sorry, Kyoto Protocol is became failure because it becomes a carbon karma. When you come up with a sustainable development goal, the contribution of our country becomes most important, because what we were practicing during our childhood was the real sustainable practices. There was no waste as far as when you go to the village. So when they are imposing the Western countries, Western technologies and things of that kind, the reuse facilities is not there. You use and throw facilities are coming. The pens which you use and throw, these things. So I found that sustainable practices and the technology or the theory has to have two broader categories. One is sustainable usage of the external resources using the proper technology, economics, management principles. And second thing is, how do we reduce the consumption? For that, your inner ethics plays an important role, because we find that there are a lot many people who are in the rich category in terms of material wealth. They are the one who consumes more energy, more resources at the cost of someone else without adding quality to their life. They are the real culprits in the entire world. I was attending one of the World Bank conference which says that many people gave us solutions to the world problem. But one fellow got up and said, kindly tell us that what is that you people have done in your backyard. There was silence for about 10 minutes in the whole hall. So what is happening is, as you rightly said, we don't practice what we say, and we don't understand what we were practicing in our culture, which was tested for thousands of years, 4,000 to 5,000 years. So I personally feel, especially in the sustainable development goals, the culture of India, the practices which we were following with diversity of food practices, diversity of agriculture practices plays an important role. So the sustainable theory or the practices should focus both as the external resources management as well as internal ethical management of the human being. Unless the human being becomes more sensitive to the resource consumption, I think we may not be able to achieve it. That's what I
Yeah. So thank you, sir. Thank you. I think we have rightly said the personal ethics play a vital role in the sustainability. So, and you have asked another question that why it is not included in the curriculum. The curriculum is obsolete. A lot of changes are happening with respect to the curriculum. Even in the BTU, and since we are autonomous, we could include all these things in our curriculum. But I was referring in general. The sustainability should be taught right from our own home by the parents and in the schools, in the colleges. Many a time, as you have mentioned, we are good at preaching, but not good at practicing. As a result, the students, when they see that we are only preaching but not practicing, they also copy the same thing from the elders. There's a big gap between preaching and practicing in our country. And many great things, great people say, but they do not practice, and we closely observe that. That is one of the reasons. Second, somehow we try to copy, as you have mentioned, the Western culture. Like, for example, Swiggy, Zomato, they create so much of unsustainable things, the garbage, and we don't know how to dispose it out. And even the Bangalore alone, they produces so many thousands of tons of waste every day, and it is not properly treated and used. So I feel that there should be a kind of movement which happened. I mentioned about the ozone depletion gases. Then they banned all the representatives that were contributing to the ozone depletion. As a result, we were able to control the damage to a certain extent. Same thing should happen with respect to sustainability now. Otherwise, our future generation will be in danger. Because already it is expected that cities in the coastal area, some cities around the world get submerged because water level is rising. So there are many other adverse consequences. So I feel that government, the entire society, the education system, everyone should be involved in this change process. Unless we change ourselves, our thought process, I don't think this may become extremely difficult to achieve. As by 2030, they want to achieve all those 17 goals. And if you look at the progress report in the year 2022, because of Corona and many other things, we have not achieved much. The progress has not been significant. So if you want to see a real change, a real progress, I think more efforts are required from everyone, including change in the curriculum, creating awareness, practicing what we preach at every level. Sir.
K. Krishna Prasad, Occupational Safety and Health Trainer. How about the source of heat in your canteens? Source of heat in your canteens and wastage of food, how you are going to manage?
Sir, in the canteens, actually we have hostels. The canteen is not very big. We use we use the CH, the hostels. We are using the gases, the compressed natural gas. That is one thing. We are not using the electrical energy.
Solar heat,
Solar, we are in one hostel we are using solar, but in the other hostel we are not using. We are using only for conversion of the solar energy into electrical energy, not for cooking purposes. Cooking purpose we are using the gas. Yeah, right now. You asked waste, how do it? Yeah.
Wastage.
Yes. So food wastage, in fact, we have established one hostel recently about 6 months ago with a capacity of around 500 students. We have another hostel with a 200 capacity. We should use gobar gas basically so that we can use all food wastage that can be converted into a gas. But we are not done. I think it's a good suggestion. We'll definitely look into it and try to implement. We are not done.
It's a simple process.
Yeah. Yes.
Any others?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And now the presidential address by our chairman.
Many a time, sir, 1 minute. Many a time what happens, one of the inquiry based learning, we drink water, half of it and then we close it. As a result, this water becomes not available for all the future generations. Although it is tightly controlled, it's not, decomposable. As a result, this water will get wasted for all the future generations. So that awareness we created in our campus. Where many times the managers, what they do, they drink only half of it or 1/4 of it, and they put the plate and then even the maid they throw it out, and that will go to some pit, and that will be there. That water will be there forever.
See, what is happening in the social programs. Instead of 250, they give 500 ml.
Yeah.
Only 1/3 of the thing they keep. But I charge to my house.
Using pulpit pot itself is wrong.
Sorry, sir.
Using pulpit pot itself is wrong.
Since government authorities should have taken, sir, as we are talking about marriages, where mass things are developed here, they should ban it totally.
I think in our office, we have already, we give only glass bottles with a lid, so that they can use it.
Yeah, so what we did during the conference, we never use the bottles. Then we ensure that we use only the steel cups, including coffee, tea, everywhere. We never use paper cups also.
ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಪದ್ಧತಿಗಳು ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದೇ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಹಿಂದೆ ಕಪ್ಪಿಡೋರು ಹಿಂದೆ ನೀರು ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರೋರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟು ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಪೇಪರ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ದಿವಸ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಬೂ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರೀ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಕಪ್ಪಿನಿಂದ ಅವರು ಇಡೀ ದಿವಸ ಕಳಿಬಹುದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಏನೋ ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ನಾವು ಎಜುಕೇಟೆಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ, ನಾವೇ ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ಪಾಯ್ಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
Yes, sir.
Steel cups are there. The other side, you see the problem. Only hygiene. Cleaning. And then, moving so much water for clean.
Yes, sir. So, water is, sir, at least finally we should look at the damage we do to the environment. If the damage is less, even though it consumes more water, because that can be reused. But this one we cannot reuse it.
Sir, I have seen in Mumbai, these air conditioners, because of high humidity, lot of water is drained there. People used to keep bucket there, that water they put for their pots and garden. Those types of things you should try to do.
Correct. Sorry, sir.
Really, sir. But, sir,
Individuals are taking interest. Naturally, the garbage will automatically. Most important thing. Whatever you make, vegetable and everything, you can put in your own garden. You need not throw to municipal.
Simple steps.
Simple steps are
Simple
available,
steps.
sir. 50% the wastage
Yeah.
we can reduce in each and every way in Mysore, sir. Let us take a vote first.
Yes, sir.
my dear honorable engineer friends, and also the general public of Mysore. Our institution of India, Mysore Center, today is very, very fortunate to have a lecture, an excellent, very excellent presentation by Dr. Sadashive Gowda. He is also, we are very proud that he is also one of the corporate FI members of our association. We are very fortunate for that also, sir. He has excellently covered the various regarding the sustainable 17 sustainable goals, which has to result in ultimately peace and prosperity. That's a very good thing he has enumerated. And it also should result in the environment, economy, and equity. He has stressed those points. And also, he has explained how in the modern day, now, it is our environment is ending with greenhouse gases and also depletion of natural resources. He has covered those things in detail. Finally, he has explained a case study which was very, very fine. It has been followed in his college. It's very, very great. And he has stressed about what we preach must be practiced. That's also he has stressed. Next, coming to the environmental today's significance, the theme of World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development. He has really correct and completely covered it. And within the allotted time, I'm very, very happy about this. Your speech was your presentation was full of fluency and to the exact points. So, what is an engineer? There have been many, many definitions. When we studied in engineering college and after entering our field of engineering field also, whenever we prepare a project estimate like that, the certificate which we used to give was certified that the estimate or the scheme is prepared for the most economical, safe way of doing the work. But that economy aspect, we think that it covered the environmental aspects also. And many great people have, some of them are also unknown. They have explained what engineering is. Because today is World Engineering Day. Engineering is not only study of about 45 to 50 subjects, but it is moral studies of intellectual life. There are some unknown persons. Now, what N.R. Murthy has told, engineering or technology is all about using the power of science to make life better for the people, to reduce cost, to improve comfort, to improve productivity, etc. N.R. Murthy. So you just put it as an example. So the coverage as I told you for the sustainable development was very, very fine, sir. Please be associated with our institution of India, sir. In future, we also want to we will like to come to your college also, and also please encourage your students also to become members of our institution, student members, and also to utilize the opportunity of our technical lecture programs, etc. So thank you all. Thank you, Chairman. And now it's a vote of thanks by our Honorary Joint Secretary.
Very good evening to all. So it's my pleasure to thank today's speaker, Dr. Sadashive Gowda, Principal, Gowda College of Engineering, for his precious presence and timely talk. He did not drag the contents, and whatever was supposed to be said, it has covered the topics. So on behalf of IEI Mysore, I thank him and I request our committee members, including chairman, to felicitate the speaker.
One second. Sir, Vikram. Thank you.
I also thank our chairman, engineer S. Prabhakara, for this kind of event. I thank Honorary Secretary Engineer H.S. Suresh Babu for his support, and also Engineer K.P. Bhaskar, Program Convener. Also, we have our committee members, senior members, ex-chairman, secretaries, so, and corporate members. So, thanks to all.